Hello, everyone. My name is Dalal, and welcome to Popcorn and Soda, the show where we discuss all things movies, pop culture, and so much more. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for making me a small part of your day. Ah, yes, the start of a brand new year. What does that mean? Whole new year, whole new set of movies. And I love the start of the year because it gives us time to look ahead to all the great releases that are scheduled to come out this year. And you guys know me, I love my movies. And there are movies that I'm so excited for this year. So here is my list of my top 5 most anticipated releases of the year. Let's get started. Number 5 on my list of the movies that I'm looking most forward to this year, Argylle, directed by one of my favorite directors, Mr. Matthew Vaughn, who is, of course, the person behind one of my favorite comic movies of all time, X-Men First Class and the Kingsman franchise. The reason why I'm so excited for Argylle is Matthew Vaughn meets Henry Cavill, one of my favorite actors, and not just Henry Cavill, but this entire crew of creatives behind this film. It's an original take on a spy franchise that is being created in this movie. It's like a very meta movie where it's about the author of the story within the movie, and it's bonkers. Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, John Cena, Dua Lipa, and of course Henry Cavill, Samuel L. Jackson, Bryan Cranston. This is one of the most anticipated movies of the year for me just because Matthew Vaughn is such a creative genius. And I love everything Matthew Vaughn does because he brings his own flair. He's one of those unique directors in Hollywood today that's got his own style. And I love that. And I'm really excited to see what he's going to cook up with such an amazing cast. And again, I'm a big, big fan of Henry Cavill. And I think this is going to be a great way to start the year, which is why Argylle is number 5 on my list of my most anticipated movies. Shifting over from the start of the year, a movie that's coming out fairly soon, to a movie that's pretty much coming out at the opposite end, which is the end of next year, this year almost. And that is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Robert Eggers is a director I got hooked on from my brother, who's a massive film fan himself, and I love his films. Lighthouse is one of my favorite films that I've seen in the last 10 years because it is so original and unique. Just like Matthew Vaughn, Robert Eggers has his own style, his own flair, his own perspective on how films and stories are. And this is almost like a reboot on the classic story of the vampire Nosferatu. And this cast is stacked. Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu, the man of 1,000 faces. Bill's gonna kill it in this. He's one of my favorite actors, and I think Bill Skarsgård's so talented and getting lost in such unique characters. And of course, Willem Dafoe, Lily Rose Depp, Nicholas Hoult. This movie is going to be amazing for the sheer fact that it is Robert Eggers. And we need more directors like him because he creates films and spectacles that are unlike, a lot of the directors that do the big budget blockbuster movies, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think on the opposite end of that, you need to have directors like Robert Eggers who are creative geniuses and they create original content. And I think we need that more than ever right now in Hollywood. So that is why Nosferatu, everyone's favorite Dracula, is number 4 on my most anticipated list of the year. All right, top 3. These 3 movies, honestly, on any given day, you could maybe switch them around. But I will say this, my third most anticipated movie of the year is Deadpool 3. I'm a big fan of superhero movies. I love what Ryan Reynolds and co did with the Deadpool 1 and 2 because it was so outside of the box of the Marvel cookie cutter movies that are almost made, because when you're in the MCU, you're in the sandbox and you have to play within it. And I love Kevin Feige. I love what they've done with the MCU, but there is, a sandbox and constraints and things that you can and cannot do. Ryan Reynolds loves the character of Deadpool and he championed this character, and I love Deadpool 1 and 2. But the reason why I'm so excited for Deadpool 3 is Mr. Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine in this film, and I cannot wait to see what the two of these come up with. Again, with another great director behind it, Sean Levy. Absolutely love him. I think he's a great director, and he's worked with both of these guys before, and the three of them together are going to create magic. And just from some of the set photos that have been leaked, the photos that they have brought out, the yellow costume Wolverine, and this is officially in the MCU, and it's a rated R movie. So how is this all going to fit in? I'm so fascinated with the story that they're going to be telling in this movie and the larger scope and place of Deadpool within the MCU, because we all know him, right? He breaks the fourth wall, and we haven't seen a character in the MCU like Deadpool. I'm just so beyond excited for this movie, guys. Like, I cannot wait, and I'm so happy that the writer's strike and the actor strike isn't delaying this movie till 2025, because we need a movie like Deadpool 3 to come out this year. That is why Deadpool 3, fittingly, is number 3 on my list of most anticipated films. Number 2 on my list is Joker 2. It just happened to work like that, guys. I wasn't trying to be cool. Joker 2 is my second most anticipated film of the year. And the main reason is because the first Joker was this zeitgeist of a movie that went beyond just movies. It created national headlines, it created controversy, it created conversation about toxic masculinity and just, mental health and male mental health. And I have a very special place in my heart for the movie Joker, as it was one of the best movie going experiences I ever had. Side note, I waited 10 hours in line at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2019 to be one of the lucky few to be able to get a rush ticket with my brother to watch this film. No joke. 10 hours sitting on a ledge, potentially being able to get a ticket, not even a guarantee. And that was one of the greatest movie experiences of my life, just from start of the day to the end of the day. The reason why this is number 2 on my list is because I love that first movie. What Joaquin Phoenix did was one of the best acting performances I've ever seen. And I'm a massive fan of Todd Phillips. What he's done with the Hangover series and what he did with Joker 1. I think Todd Phillips does not get his flowers enough as a serious, dramatic director. And very excited for this because of those two things. But the wild card in this is Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I'm so excited to see how they do this and how they pull it off, because we all have Margot Robbie engraved in our head as, the definitive Harley Quinn, because she's amazing in the role. But now putting a character like Harley Quinn in this grounded, realistic world of the Joker, I'm curious to see how they pull it off. I really, really am. And more importantly, I'm curious to see if lightning can strike twice. Usually never happens. The first movie was such this cultural phenomenon. I don't know if it's going to happen again with this movie, but I'm willing to give it a shot and hoping that it does, because I love the first movie. One of, if not the best performance I've ever seen for any actor in a movie, but Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. And I'll give Todd and Joaquin all the credit and all the leeway they need to help prove everyone wrong who's saying that a movie like this that made $1 billion worldwide does not need a sequel because it was a one-off story. But I guess we'll find out. All right, guys. So we've been through number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2. Before we get to number 1, comment below, and I would love to hear your thoughts on your most anticipated films of the year. Are any of the movies I've listed so far on your list? Are there films on my list that you're not very keen on yourself? I would love to hear your thoughts. Number 5, Argylle. Number 4, Nosferatu. Number 3, Deadpool 3. Number 2, Joker 2. And number 1, my most anticipated film of 2024 is Dune Part 2. What can we say about Dune Part 1 that hasn't been said? Quite possibly the greatest cast ever assembled in a movie, and directed by one of Canada's own, Mr. Denis Villeneuve. I liked the first movie a lot. I really, really did, because it created this world of this expansive world that is of Dune, and literally the first movie I was such a big fan of because it was such a beautiful movie. The score was amazing by Hans Zimmer, but most importantly, one of my favorite actors, Timothée Chalamet, at the lead as Paul Atreides. Movie number one came out at the height of the pandemic, and again, it was something that I felt like was needed because people needed an escape, and Dune 1 provided that for people. And Dune 1 sets up Dune 2, because Dune 1 was really about world building. Dune 2 is about the war. And I'm so excited for this because not just Timothée Chalamet, but one of my other favorite actors, Mr. Austin Butler, is in this movie as well. And I am just beyond excited to see what this cast is going to do and what Denis is going to do, because Denis had a chance now to dissect Dune 1 and see what the audience feedback was, because it wasn't shot back to back like most big tentpoles are. Dune 1 was shot, went away, pandemic happened, and then Dune 2 was shot. So Denis has the benefit of hindsight and seeing, what people thought of the first movie. And people enjoyed the first movie. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. And I'm excited to see Denis' vision for Dune Part 2. And of course, see the rest of the amazing cast. Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, on and on and on. I'm so excited for Dune Part 2. And it's not even that far away. It comes out in March. So I cannot wait to see how Denis and co handle Dune Part 2, which is my most anticipated film of 2024. As always, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for making me a small part of your day. Greatly appreciate it if you can take a quick second out of your day to like, comment, share, subscribe, click that little notification bell to know when my next videos are coming out. And those are my movies that are the most anticipated for me in 2024.